Hello traders, welcome to another episode of our tutorial on Leading Forex YouTube channel. If this is your first time of seeing this video, we have a whole full playlist for you, and the whole playlist is about Forex trading for beginners. Even if you are not a beginner, I still feel this playlist will be very important for you, at least as a refresher course in your journey as a Forex trader. I am your admin, Kofi, of Leading Forex YouTube channel. We also have a Facebook page and then a Telegram page. At the description of this video, you can find a link to our Telegram page. And if you go to Facebook, just search for Leading Forex and you'll find us. If you are finding us here on YouTube, I would suggest that subscribe to this channel just like your colleagues have done, so that together we can grow this community to become a greater one, where everyone can boast and say, I became a good trader as a result of chancing upon this channel known as Leading Forex on YouTube. Today, we want to continue from where we left the last time. This is going to be the part 4 of our tutorials. In the part 1, 2, and 3, we talked about the trading platforms, which is the MT4 and MT5. So we talked about the mobile version and then the PC or laptop version, and then all the interface that you need to know, the things involved that you need to know. We spoke about them. Now, let's assume we are done with the interface. We now know what the whole software is all about and how to use it to trade the Forex market. Now, you are ready to roll. So what you need now is to create a demo account or a live account, which you can begin to use to trade. So with that, we will have to begin from a certain point for you to understand some few things, which I believe will help you to know exactly what to do when it comes to which broker or which institution to choose to be your broker in order to trade with. So today I'm going to talk about the history of Forex. And with the history, it is not the kind of history you might have heard. This is a bit of hard to find on the internet, although it is available. So as a result of hard work, I have been able to compile some information that you will need to know before you even choose a broker or decide to even start trading. Is that okay? Now, the whole history is a lot that if I should take it one after the other, it might take me weeks to finish. But I want to make it simple and easy for all of us. So today, I'm going to just paraphrase some things and then try to make them bit by bit in my way of explanation. Is that okay? So let's begin. And this becomes the theory aspect of Forex that you need to know. Is that okay? Now, let me begin this whole history from after World War II or Second World War. After the Second World War, there was actually chaos in the world of currencies. Countries didn't know which currency was superior than the other. The whole world became something else. There was chaos everywhere. So as the world was wandering and didn't know what direction it should take, came an institution known as the Bretton Woods. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Bretton Woods. This was an institution that emerged, and the Bretton Woods proposed some kind of criteria that should be used in order to bring sanity in the world of currencies. And so this Bretton Woods proposals were accepted, and it became a universal principle to be used in the world in order to bring sanity. I may not be able to tell you all the proposal that the Bretton Woods proposed, which became a universal law. But I will tell you the part that concerns us as traders. Is that okay? Now, the part that concerns us as traders is this. The Bretton Woods institution suggested that the US dollar or the US dollars should be used to price all commodities. Anything in the world market should be priced in the dollar currency, if I should put it. So we had commodities and goods and services priced in the US dollar. And that is how come even up to today, anything you want to buy on the world market, the price you will be given is in US dollars. So if you want to buy oil, if your country wants to buy oil from any country, if your country wants to buy goods, maybe cocoa, diamond, gold, and whatsoever from any country across the world, whatever you are buying, whatever services or goods you are buying, the price will be in the US dollar. Is that okay? Now, after we had this rule, the whole currency market began to stabilize. Things began to flow in a normal way. So this made the US dollar superior. It made the US dollar a bit of a king over other currencies. But along the line, there were modifications, but I will not talk about that. Now, after we had that sanity as a result of the Bretton Woods proposal, people, institutions, and governments began to trade, to buy, and to sell. Is that okay? So countries began to buy from other countries. And all that you needed in order to buy is to exchange your local currency into the US dollar in order to make purchases. Or you needed to get your local currency's equivalence to the dollar in order to make whatever you wanted to buy or get whatever you wanted to buy. So what happened was that we started seeing what is called foreign exchange. Foreign exchange. And foreign exchange simply means the exchange of currencies. So you needed to exchange one currency for another in order to make a purchase of something internationally. So we started seeing a market known as foreign exchange, which emerged. Now, when the foreign exchange market emerged, now let me just cut it short here and tell you that the word foreign exchange, its abbreviation is Forex. Foreign, we got FOR, which is coming from the word foreign. And then exchange, we had EX. So when you add the FOREX, you get Forex. So Forex, which you and I know today, is an abbreviation of the word foreign exchange. So we started having a market called Forex or foreign exchange. So what happened? There were some institutions that were allowed to sell currencies. And these institutions were banks, and they were 7 in number. Today, I might not be able to tell you all of them. I'll just mention a few, but in another video, I'm going to tell you about these 7 banks that were allowed to sell currencies globally. Now, one of them is JP Morgan. Another one is Barclays, and so many others. There are about 7. In another video, I'll talk about them. Is that okay? Good. So these banks were asked to sell currencies globally. So if you needed currencies to buy, you had to get it from these banks. So what happened? These banks decided that, okay, in order to make the whole buying of currencies easier, they needed institutions that had money to buy from these 7 banks at wholesale price. So these 7 banks decided that they would sell to any other institution that had money and wanted to do the business of Forex, wanted to sell currencies. So they were ready to sell to any institution that had the money. So we started seeing local banks from various countries buying currencies to also sell. So these local banks and institutions that had the money to buy from these 7 banks started buying from them at wholesale price, and then they were selling these currencies to us at retail price. And when I say us, this is what I mean by us. I will explain. Now, already you knew that before a country could make any purchase, the country will need another country's currency. So these countries or governments were buying currencies in order to be able to buy whatever they want to buy. The same way, you and I, by then, had to travel from one country to the other. I am in Ghana. Supposing I wanted to travel to the UK, I cannot carry my Ghanaian cedi here, which is the Ghana cedi here, and spend it in the UK. So I needed to exchange my Ghanaian cedi here into maybe euros or pounds, and then carry that along so that when I get to the UK, I can actually use that to do or transact whatever business I want to transact. The same way, when I'm coming from the UK and I get back to Ghana, I have to exchange whatever euro or dollar I have or pounds I have with me. I have to exchange that into my local currency, which is the cedi, so that I can again use it for my transactions and whatever I want to do. So travelers needed to exchange currencies in order to be able to move from one country to the other, or to go take their businesses or transact their businesses wherever they want to. Is that okay? So this is how the foreign exchange market began, or the forex market began. But mind you, during this time, there wasn't internet. Even if there was internet, it wasn't something commercial like we see today. So these banks and institutions were operating offline. So if you needed a currency, you need to walk to either the 7 banks I'll be talking about in the next video, or you needed to go to your local bank, who are the retail traders or the retail who bought from the 7 banks at wholesale, then you could buy from them at retail. Is that okay? So either you have money to buy at wholesale and sell, or you go to the banks, the local banks that sell at retail price and buy from them, and then use it for whatever you want to use it for. Now, it was difficult for individually, you and I, to also involve ourselves in the business of forex, because the money that was needed to be able to even sell currencies or buy currencies was so huge that you and I could not easily get that money to do that. So one will ask that, what was the amount needed in order to be able to buy these currencies at wholesale and sell at retail? You needed about $500,000 between $500,000 and $1 million. You needed this range of money, between $500,000 to $1 million. This was an amount you needed in order to be able to buy currencies at wholesale and sell at retail. So this wasn't easy for you and I to get. So institutions that had the money were the local banks, and then also some forex bureaus. I don't know whether that name is still common in other parts of the world, but in Ghana, where I am, we have these local dealers called the forex bureaus. These forex bureaus, they also buy from our local banks here. So I don't know whether to actually classify them as people that buy from these 7 banks, or I don't know. But let's just come to terms with that. That we had these offline brokers, okay, which are our local banks and some other institutions that actually go to the 7 banks I'll talk about in the next video, which are the Barclays and then the JP Morgans and the rest. They go to them, buy these currencies at wholesale, then they sell it to us at retail. Now, again, when this forex market began, or the world of forex trading began, it was difficult for us to get a single institution that will try to monitor the activities of the banks or these companies known as brokers that were selling currencies. There weren't any single regulatory body that regulates the forex market worldwide. Maybe, for instance, if I will try to make it easier for your understanding, when it comes to the world of football, we have FIFA, which is a single body or an international body that regulates all activities of football or sports. If I'll put it, sports. FIFA is one single body that regulates all activities of sports across the world. But in the world of Forex, it was difficult for us to get a single institution that will actually regulate the activities of the Forex market. So what happened? Countries decided to set up their own institutions that will take up the mandate of regulating and monitoring and evaluating the activities of these banks and institutions that were selling currencies. So if I take you to the US, those of you who are still watching this video, you will see the United States on the screen. So it all started from the United States. So in the United States, the US government decided to set up an institution known as the CFTC, which is Commodities and Futures Trading Commission. The government set up this institution to regulate all Forex activities in the US. Is that okay? So this institution came and started work. Then along the line, other institutions came up, like the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, which is the FINRA. And then also another association emerged, which is the National Futures Association, which is the NFA. And then also still in the US, another institution emerged, the US Securities and Exchange Commission, which is the US SEC. And then Chicago Board of Trades, which is the CBOT. And then also Securities Investors Protection Corporation, which is the CIPC. So these institutions emerged in the US to regulate the activities of Forex in the United States. Now, if time permits me, I may be showing you all the institutions that regulate Forex in each country across the world, if time permits me. If time do not permit me today, that will come in another video. Is that okay? Good. So let's continue. So when this Commodities and Futures Trading Commission was set up by the US government, they started regulating the activities of the Forex market in the US. And then other countries also started picking up the pieces, setting up institutions like that. And then it continued across the world. Now, this institution known as the CFTC, which is the Commodities and Futures Trading Commission, later somewhere in the 1990s, decided to make a proposal to the US government that, look, internet was becoming a talk of the day. Everywhere, everything was becoming internet. So there was a need for Forex as a business to also move from offline to online. Are you getting the scenario? So this commission decided to make a proposal to the US government to review and see if they can pass it to law so that the Forex market could be moved from offline to online. And lo and behold, the US government reviewed the whole proposal and accepted it and agreed that the Forex market should be moved from offline to online. Now, in order to move the Forex market from offline to online, there were some things to be done. And one of them was that the fact that we had brokers who were actually buying Forex at wholesale price from the 7 banks I told you I'll be talking about in another video, there was a need for another set of institutions, which were also going to be brokers, to come up and then buy the rights or also buy currencies from these banks at wholesale and sell to us online at retail. So when this door was opened, people started joining hands, companies started emerging as online brokers, aside the offline brokers that we had, which were our local banks and then other institutions. We started having online brokers who showed interest in the Forex business. So a lot of companies emerged, and then they went for the right to become online brokers. So most of them were accepted, and then they started going to buy Forex at wholesale price from these 7 banks And then they started selling it to us on the internet at retail price. So you and I who sit by our computer or our mobile phones to trade the forex market are actually retail traders. Are you getting it? We are retail traders. The brokers that we sign up with, the brokers that we subscribe to in order to get an account to trade, they are brokers that have gotten license to operate, to buy currencies at wholesale and sell to us at retail. Are you getting it? So the internet forex has actually made it so easy for you to even have at least $1, or the internet forex market became so easy that if you even had $1, you could sign up to any broker of your choice online and then also start the business of forex trading, buying and selling of currencies. So the online brokers actually made forex trading easier, unlike the offline brokers. The offline brokers, before you could transact or buy and sell currencies, you needed to have enough money, between $500,000 to $1 million, before you can do a business known as forex. But the brokers made it so easy. The online brokers made it so easy that they decided to take up the whole pain and say, okay, they are ready to help you trade with the little money that you have. They know you also want to involve in the business of trading currencies, but your money is too small. So they will take up that job by helping you to be able to use your small money to also do the business of buying and selling of currencies. So immediately you sign up with a broker, what you are doing is that you want that broker to allow you to use your small money to be able to buy and sell currencies and also make profits. That is what you are trying to imply. Immediately you sign up to any broker of your choice. Are you getting it? But remember, that broker that you are signing up to is going to sell to you at retail price. Is that okay? Because that broker has bought from the banks at wholesale price and they are selling it to you at retail price. So you are buying at retail price, and then with the hope that as you continue buying and selling, you will be making profits. Is that okay? Now, there are a lot I want to tell you when it comes to the history, but I don't know if I need to hold on here and continue from another angle. But before I will end this video, I want to show you another screen for you to actually know that you, the one sitting by your laptop or your computer or whatsoever to trade, or your mobile phone, you are actually a retail trader. You are not a wholesaler. But you are a retailer because there is a broker which has taken the pain to allow you to use your small money to also buy and sell currencies and make profit for yourself. Now, don't forget that those brokers have bought the currencies at wholesale and they are selling it to you at retail. And these brokers that are online are actually regulated, okay, depending on which country they come from. Because I've already told you that each country had their own regulatory commission or agency that regulates forex trading. So if there's nothing to waste, I may take you through to see each country, the countries that have licensed institutions that regulate the forex market. And I want to show you this because you need to know your broker and know which institution regulates them, so that tomorrow, if you have a problem, if you are buying and selling currencies and you sense any foul play, or your broker decides to cheat you, you can easily report to the institution that regulates them so that they can take up the fight and fight for you. The institution that regulates the forex brokers are actually on our side as retailers. They are there to fight for us. So you need to know your broker and which institution regulates them. So that anytime you sense anything, I'm going to tell you some of the things that brokers can do to cheat you. That will come later. I have a lot to tell you on this channel, and that is why I want you to subscribe to this channel, because I have a lot I want to tell you. So subscribe to this channel, share the good news to others who also want to become good traders, to subscribe for more information. Now, without much time being wasted, let's look at countries that have institutions that regulate the forex market. When we go to Anguilla, in Anguilla, we have Anguilla Financial Service Commission. Okay, they regulate the forex market. So in Anguilla, here is Anguilla, and this is the institution that regulates them. Is that okay? Now, again, when we go to Antigua, in Antigua, we have the Eastern Caribbean Security Regulatory Commission. That is ECSRC. This is an institution that regulates them. Now, when we go to a country known as Australia, in Australia, we have the Australian Securities and Investment Commission. So if you sign up to a broker that is coming from Australia, you should find out whether that broker in Australia is regulated by this institution, known as the Australian Securities and Investment Commission, which is the ASIC, ASIC. It's a very strong institution, and I love their work. Is that okay? Now let's continue. When we go to Azerbaijan, Azerbaijan is next. Azerbaijan, the institution that regulates Azerbaijan brokers are two institutions. We have the State Committee for Securities, Azerbaijan, and then we have Baku Stock Exchange. These are the two institutions that regulate Forex in Azerbaijan. Now, when we go to Bangladesh, in Bangladesh, we have Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, in Bangladesh. They regulate the activities of Forex in Bangladesh. Now, when we go to Belgium, in Belgium, we have the Financial Services and Markets Authority, which is in Belgium, the Financial Services and Markets Authority, FSMA. So if you sign up to an online broker, find out whether if it is coming from Belgium. If it is coming from Belgium, you should find out whether they are being regulated by this institution. Belize, if you sign up from any broker from Belize, the institution that regulates them is International Financial Service Commission, IFSC. Now, aside that, we have British Virgin Islands. So in the British Virgin Islands, we have the BVI Financial Services Commission, which is the FSC of BVI. When we go to Bulgaria, in Bulgaria, we have the Financial Supervision Commission of Bulgaria, which is FSC Bulgaria. When we go to Canada, we have a lot of them in Canada. So all the brokers in Canada, they should be regulated by these institutions, which is the British Columbia Securities Commission, BCSC, Canadian Investor Protection Fund, CIPF, Financial Transactions and Reports Analysis Center of Canada, that's FINTRAC, Investment Industry Regulatory Organization of Canada, that is IIORC, Investment Industry Regulatory Organization of Canada, there are two of them, another one also there. Then we have Ontario Securities Commission, OSC. We have Ombudsman of Banking Services and Investments, OBSI. So all these institutions are there to regulate the activities of Forex in Canada. So if you sign up to any broker in Canada, find out whether they are being regulated by any of these institutions. Is that okay? Now, any broker from Cayman Islands, the institution that regulates them is the Cayman Islands Monetary Authority, CIMA. If the broker is coming from China, then China Securities Regulatory Commission, which is the CSRC, should regulate them. If you are signing up with a broker from Croatia, Croatian Financial Services Supervisory Agency, which is CFTC, should be their regulator. If you sign up from a broker, if you sign up with a broker, I beg your pardon, if you sign up with a broker that comes from Cyprus, I actually have one broker from Cyprus. And before I sign up to that broker, I had to check whether they were regulated by the Cyprus Security and Exchange Commission, which is the CySEC. And truly, the broker was actually being regulated by CySEC. So I had to check that before signing up with them. And so far, they have been very good to me. I mean, this broker, the activities are very clean. So if you are signing up with a broker from Cyprus, you need to find out whether they are regulated by Cyprus Security and Exchange Commission. And then Czech Republic, we have the Czech National Bank. They are the regulators. In Denmark, we have the Danish Financial Supervisory Authority. That's the Danish FSA. In the Dominica, you should have the Financial Service Unit, FSU. In Dubai, if you are in Dubai or UAE, then these are your regulators. If you are signing up with a broker from Dubai or UAE, we have the Dubai Multi-Commodity Center, DMCC. We have Dubai Gold and Commodities Exchange, that's the DGCX. We have Dubai Financial Services Authority, which is the DFSA. We have Emirates Securities and Commodities Authority, which is SCA. Estonia. In Estonia, we have the Financial Supervision Authority. So that should be a broker from, sorry, that should be the institution regulating any broker from Estonia. Finland, we have the FSA in Finland. The FSA in Finland, that is the institution that regulates brokers in Finland. In France, if you sign up with any broker from France, we have Autorité des Marchés Financiers, AMF. We have the Banque de France. We have Credit Institutions and Investment Firms Committee. We have French Autorité de Contrôle Prudential et de Résolution, ACPR. Pardon me if my French is not good. So if you sign up with any broker from France, these are the institutions that should regulate them. In Germany, we have the Federal Financial Supervisory Authority, which is the BAFIN. If you sign up with any broker from Greece, we have the Hellenic Capital Market Commission, the Hellenic Capital Market Commission, HCMC. Hong Kong, any broker from Hong Kong should be regulated by Securities and Futures Commission, SFC. In Hungary, we have the Hungarian Financial Supervisory Authority, that's the HFSA. Iceland, we should have the Financial Supervisory Authority, which is the FME. In India, you should have Securities and Exchange Board of India, that's the SEBI, SEBI. That's India, SEBI. Now, when we go to, again, in India, we have the Reserve Bank of India, which is RBI. They are also agency that regulates the activities of Forex. Now, in Indonesia, we have the Commodity Futures Trade Regulatory Agency. That's the COFTRA. Ireland, we have the Central Bank of Ireland. When we go to Isle of Man, any broker from this Isle of Man should be regulated by the Financial Supervision Commission, which is the FSC. In Israel, any broker from Israel should be regulated by the Israel Securities Authority. In Italy, you should have the Commission Nacional per la Società e la Borsa. I love Italia. Yeah. So in Italy, we have CONSOB. That is the commission that regulates any broker from Italy. Now in Japan, you should have Financial Services Agency of Japan, which is FSA Japan, and Japan Securities Dealers Association, JSDA, and then Japan Investor Protection Fund, that's GIPF, and then the Tokyo Commodity Exchange, that's TOCOM, that's TOCOM. Now in Kenya, we are on the soil of Africa, so let's go to Africa. In Kenya, we have Capital Markets Authority, that's CMA in Kenya. In Kuwait, we have a Ministry of Commerce and Industry in Kuwait, and the Kuwait Chamber of Commerce and Industry. In Latvia, we have the Financial and Capital Markets Commission, FKTK. Lebanon, we have the Banque de Liban, Banque de Liban, that is in Lebanon. That is the regulatory body. In Lithuania, we have the Lithuanian Securities Commission, Bank of Lithuania. Luxembourg, we have the Commission de Surveillance du Secteur Financier, which is CSSF. In Liechtenstein, we have the Financial Market Authority, Liechtenstein. In Malaysia, we have the Securities Commission, Malaysia. In Malta, we have Malta Financial Service Authority, which is FSA in Malta. In Mauritius, we have Financial Service Commission of Mauritius, FSC Mauritius. In New Zealand, we have Financial Market Authority, FMA. And then we also have Financial Service Providers Register, which is FSPR. And then we also have the Financial Service Complaints Limited, that is FSCL. In Nigeria, we have the Securities and Exchange Commission, Nigeria. So, hey, my friends from Nigeria, this is an institution that regulates forex activities in Nigeria. Norway, in Norway, we have the Financial Supervisory Authority of Norway. In Pakistan, we have the Securities and Exchange Commission of Pakistan. And then in Panama, we have two institutions, which is the Superintendencia de Mercado de Valar, the Securities Market Superintendence, which is SMV of Panama, and the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, MICI from Panama. That is the two institutions. Philippines, we have the Securities and Exchange Commission, Philippines, then the Banco Central NQ Filipinas. So the Banco Central NQ Filipinas, BSP, that is another institution from Philippines that regulates any broker from Philippines. Now in Poland, we have Polish Financial Supervisory Authority, PFSA. In Portugal, we have the Comissão do Mercado de Valores Mobiliários. Pardon me if my pronunciation is not right, but that is the institution that is in Portugal, CMVM. In Romania, we have Romania Financial Supervisory Authority, ASF. In Russia, we have the FFMS in Russia, which is also known as the FCFR. Then we have the Center for Regulation of Exchange Financial Instruments and Technologies. In Seychelles, we have the Seychelles Financial Service Authority, which is FSA Seychelles. And then in Seychelles, again, we have the Seychelles Licensing Authority, SLA. In Singapore, we have Monetary Authority of Singapore, MAS, and then Singapore Exchange, which is the SGX. In Slovakia, we have National Bank of Slovakia. In Spain, we have Comisión Nacional de Mercado de Valores, that is Spain. In South Korea, we have Financial Supervisory Commission from South Korea. In Sri Lanka, we have Securities and Exchange Commission of Sri Lanka. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we have the Financial Services Authority. And then in Sweden, we have Swedish Financial Supervisory Authorities, Swedish FSA. Now in Switzerland, we have the Association Romande de Intermediaires Financiers. And then we have Organisme d'autorégulation fondé par les GSCGI, the Polyrec General Self-Regulatory Organization, Swiss Bankers Association, Swiss Federal Banking Commission, Swiss Federal Department of Finance, and then Swiss Federal Finance Administration, Swiss Financial Market Supervisory Authority, and then Swiss National Bank. So these are all supervisory agencies. In Thailand, we have Securities and Exchange Commission, Thailand. Turkey, we have Capital Market Board, SPK. In United Kingdom, which is the UK, we have the UK Financial Service Authority, FSA UK. And then we have the Financial Conduct Authority, which is FCA. And then we have the Prudential Regulatory Authority, which is PRA. And then we have the Financial Services Compensation Fund, FSCA. US. And then finally, in the United States, we have Commodities and Futures Trading Commission, which was one of the first institutions that came in the world of Forex as a regulatory body. And then we also have the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, National Futures Association, the US Securities and Exchange Commission, the Chicago Board of Trade, and then Securities Investor Protection Corporation. So these are the various institutions that regulate Forex in each country. So if you don't see this in your country, or you don't see your country in the list, that should tell you that your country do not have a regulatory body yet. So if you do not see your country in the list, for instance, I am in Ghana, I am not seeing any Ghanaian regulatory firm. So that should tell you that in Ghana, we do not have a regulatory body yet. So that is what it is. So there are others. As time goes on, there are new ones in South Africa today. Yes, there are some regulatory bodies in South Africa which I know of. But like I said, if your country is not here, it's either your country do not have. Is that okay? It's either your country do not have, or they have, but maybe it's not in the list. But this is so far the list I have been able to gather for you from different countries. And I think it's enough. Okay, it's enough. All right, good. So before you sign up with any online broker who is going to sell currencies to you at retail price, find out the country of location and find out which body regulates them. And then make sure that they are well regulated before you jump in to subscribe to them, to sign up with them. Is that okay? This is just the part 1 of the history. There is going to be a part 2. Now, I'm going to tell you how these brokers make their commission, because they are going to buy from these 7 major banks at wholesale and sell to you sitting by your laptop or mobile phone at retail price. So how do they make their commission? How do they make their profits? I'm going to tell you that in my next video. And then also the 7 banks I talked about, I'm going to give you the list of them that sell at wholesale. I'm going to tell you who they are, but already I mentioned 2, JP Morgan and then Barclays. The rest, I'll come your way with them in the next video. And again, I am going to tell you how your broker can cheat you, how they can actually make away your money or rip you of your benefits. And when that happens, how to report this to the appropriate authorities. Is that okay? This and many other things are the things I'm going to tell you in the next video that will be coming up. So today, I will end here and then ask you to subscribe to this video. If you like this video, subscribe. There are more things to come, and I know you will love it when you start seeing them. Subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in our next video. And look, I know you appreciate and you love what you are seeing. So please comment, share, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, thank you, and stay with us.